Good afternoon, beloved. This is Angela Gracie. I am the Director of Angelic Grace Ministries, and I just wanted to come on today for a few minutes, wishing you a happy new month of June. And the Lord just dropped some things in my spirit about confidence and about movement and momentum. Amen. And, um, you know, many of us may be feeling stuck in a season, or we're expecting God to do some things, but we just don't feel like we're getting there fast enough. And we really want to get from where we are to where we want to be in a single bound, right? We want to leap a tall building in a single bound. But listen, the scriptures tell us that we grow from one degree of glory to the next. Amen. From glory to glory. And it says we grow from one degree. That word degree suggests that we move incrementally, right? It's not big, giant leaps. It's 1 degree, one level. It's almost imperceptible sometimes, right? And even our growth happens incrementally, almost imperceptibly. You find yourself one day realizing that something that used to bother you so bad doesn't bother you anymore. And that's because you've matured and you didn't even realize it until you encountered something that reminded you, oh yeah, I used to be like, that, but I'm not like that anymore. That's because we're growing. God is working on the inside of us, amen, both to will and to do what pleases him. Well, the same thing happens, beloved, in our lives as God elevates and promotes us, right? It starts with a step. It starts with taking a step forward. Amen. Listen, movement builds momentum, because once you take one step, then you'll have to take the second step, right? I remember when I was starting my business many years ago, and I started my first company, Rhema Writing Concepts, and I remember thinking how daunting it was. But I realized that once I incorporated my name, then I had a name, and then I had to set up my bookkeeping, right? And then I had to order business cards, and then I had to, I was going to networking events, and so then there were other things that I had to purchase, and so on and so forth. In other words, it begins to take on a life of its own, because a business is a living, it's a organism that's alive, and it moves, right? And so I found that once I took one step or two steps, right, then I had to take steps 3 and 4. I couldn't just stop. So the same thing happens. You take one step, then 2 steps, then 3 steps, and the next thing you know, you begin to build momentum. And the next thing you know, you're just going. You're doing the next thing and the next thing. And the next thing you know, you've got 5 clients, you've got 10 clients, right? And you just keep moving. A leader, one of my former pastors, told us this a long time ago. He said, listen, God cannot steer a parked car. We've got to get in the car. We've got to put the key in the ignition. We've got to put the car in drive, and we got to move, right? You can't steer the car even if it's on, even if the key is in the ignition and the motor is running. You can't move the car until you put it in drive. Even if you put it in drive, if you don't put your foot on the gas pedal and begin to move the car, it can't be steered, right? So God is saying to us, beloved, that to begin to move, to begin to step out in faith, trusting him. Listen, don't expect to have a roadmap with every step all laid out. This is a faith walk. I had to find that out myself the hard way. Listen, this is a faith walk. You're just not going to know everything up front. And I've learned over the years to take those first steps, not knowing what the 4th and the 5th and the 6th step is going to be. I just had enough faith to just start with step 1. And so that's what God is asking you to do, to just start with step 1. Amen. And you'll begin to see that step 1 will lead to step 2 and step 3. And the next thing you know, you're building momentum. And that momentum, while that's happening, your confidence is being renewed. Your confidence is being strengthened. Your courage is being strengthened. Amen? Because now you see yourself moving, actually moving towards your goal. And God is right there with you. He said, listen, go ye into all the world, preach the gospel, make disciples, so on. And lo, I am with you always, even until the end of the earth. He is always with us. His goodness and his mercy follow us all the days of our life. We are surrounded with his favor as with a shield. We don't have to be afraid, beloved, because he hasn't given us a spirit of fear. He said, but he told, just like he told Joshua, only be strong and courageous and do all that I have commanded you to do. And so I just want to encourage you with that word today, that we build confidence by building, we build confidence by moving. Amen. Moving builds momentum, and that momentum will build our confidence and strengthen us and give us the courage to carry on. Amen. Amen. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Amen. So that is the word for the month of June. June is a month of flourishing. It's a month where the leaves and the flowers are all coming out. This is a time for us to thrive in whatever it is God has called us to do. Amen. So just step out in faith, move, and let God take you where he wants you to be. God bless you.